Hi, everyone. Welcome to Leisrealtalk. Happy Easter. It's the Easter weekend. All right. Well, I have a question for you. Why is Easter has the word East in it? I'm just curious what the history is behind that. If someone can tell me, that would be great. All right, let's get started. In the past few weeks, we've been on an exhausting hunt, digging into China's real population, the CCP's tariff war strategy, political infighting, and whether Xi Jinping is still truly in control. But tonight, let's change gears. Let's talk about why love isn't blind or isn't always blind, and how pillow talk can be dangerous. In China's case, it's not just a saying, it's a national strategy. China has spent decades training and deploying women to seduce, manipulate, and extract secrets from foreign diplomats, businessmen, and even students. Some targets knew, most had no idea. But once you are in, there's no getting out. It's called a honey trap. And believe it or not, some of the world's most powerful people or most powerful men have already fallen for it. Tonight, we'll discuss the US-China rivalry isn't just about tariffs, trade, military confrontation. It's also about intelligence, secrets, and sex. As tensions heat up, the US is taking serious steps to shield its people from one of Beijing's dirtiest tricks. So here's what just happened. Right before stepping down, outgoing US Ambassador to China, Nicholas Burns, implemented a sweeping new rule. No more romantic or sexual relationships between US government personnel in China and Chinese nationals. That includes embassy staff, consulate workers, contractors with security clearance, and even their family members. The rule applies across the board. I mean, all consulates, including Hong Kong. The only exception, if you already had a relationship before the rule went into effect, you can apply for an exemption. But if that's denied, you've got a choice: end the relationship or leave the job. This is not a small matter. We haven't seen a blanket ban like this since the Cold War. Back in 1987, after a U.S. Marine in Moscow got seduced by a Soviet spy, Washington barred American personnel from dating locals in the Soviet bloc and in China. Those rules were relaxed after the USSR collapsed in 1991. Now, with China getting more aggressive, it looks like history is repeating itself. So why the sudden crackdown? Well, it's simple. The CCP is stepping up its game and the US isn't taking chances anymore. Underground tactics, covert cells, espionage have been CCP's DNA. One of CCP's founding members, Premier Zhou Enlai, once bragged that the CCP should own the term spy or espionage because no one has used it as well as they do. I want to show you a book. Okay, here we go. Written by Ethan Gutman, who had years of experience doing business in Beijing. His book is called Losing the New China. He describes how some American businessmen in Beijing completely lost their moral compass, where anything goes. They ended up falling into CCP's traps. He tells how Chinese public relation firms would arrange lavish hotel rooms, drinks, charming company, and then everything was recorded, not for fun, but for leverage, blackmail, influence, and control. In 2002, Xinhua News actually reported a Communist Party branch being set up in Beijing's famous bar district, Sanlitun, which is a hub frequented by foreigners. The party branch included bar owners, bodyguards, and yes, prostitutes. These women catered almost exclusively to foreigners. The CCP literally embedded itself into the nightlife scene, monitoring and manipulating interactions between Chinese women and Western men. Gutman described how American businessmen were lured into this web. These romantic encounters are not accidents. They are setups. And China knows exactly what it's doing. Maybe I could do this. So just a week ago, Chinese author Du Zhen, who used to be in the CCP in mainland China, published a 4,000-word expose in Taiwanese outlet Up Media. His article lays out how the CCP has used women as weapons, not just in isolated cases, but as part of a long-running calculated system to achieve strategic goals. Mr. Du said that the CCP has had a mission called Red Women's Army Project for the past 4 decades. By the way, the name Red Women's Army came from a 1961 propaganda ballet called The Red Detachment of Women, based on female Red Army agents who fought in the Civil War. According to Mr. Du, back in the 1980s, right after China opened up to the world, a retired official told him that the CCP had launched a secret operation to train new generation of female agents, specially groomed to be sent overseas. Their assignment: get close to foreign targets, marry them if necessary, extract intelligence, influence politics, and build networks. At the time, Mr. Du brushed it off. It sounded too far-fetched, but years later, other insiders confirmed it was all real, and it ran under the umbrella of China's MSS, or Ministry of State Security. It was right around the time that MSS was created. MSS was created in 1983. It was right around that time. The MSS evolved from an old department called Central Social Affairs Department that was established way before CCP founded the PRC. So in 1983, this old department merged with the Central Investigation Department, the Political Protection Bureau of the Public Security Ministry, and some military intelligence units to form what is now China's KGB style spy agency. So where did they find these women? Top foreign language universities in Beijing became recruitment hubs. Candidates were carefully vetted. Only those with quote-unquote clean political backgrounds were considered. Many were the daughters of party officials. The thinking was simple. Loyalty runs in the family. And just like during the Chinese Civil War, when the CCP infiltrated the nationalists by grooming spies from a young age, the same model applied here. But now it was more sophisticated, or it is more sophisticated. These agents aren't just politically loyal. They're well-educated, articulate, and well-trained to blend in seamlessly with foreign societies. Some were sent abroad right away. Others stayed in China to build a fake civilian career. Journalists, scholars, PR reps, until the right time came to deploy them overseas. Many ended up marrying foreign nationals, especially men who had access to sensitive industries, defense, or politics. Beijing referred to them as strategic assets. One of the key players in all of this was a princeling heavyweight named Ye Xuanning. Let me show you a picture of him. There's Mr. Ye. He has already passed away. He was the son of CCP elder Ye Jianying. When he was alive, he was considered the spiritual leader of princelings. He wore many hats. The vice president of China Association for International Friendly Contact, the head of PLA's General Political Liaison Department, and he ran espionage operations under the guise of a company called Kaili Industrial Company. His mission: to fund intelligence work and lead espionage campaigns against foreign countries, particularly Taiwan. Under his leadership, it was rumored, or it was estimated that, or I shouldn't say estimate, it was said that 3,000 Chinese sleeper agents were deployed overseas. Some say the real number is close to 30,000. And after Xi Jinping came to power, Mr. Ye handed over his massive covert network, his massive overseas covert network directly to Xi. One source told Mr. Du that MSS recruiters were regularly visiting universities. Students would get short-term training, but once you are in for life. There's no quitting, no walking away. And it's not just the MSS, the military's intelligence divisions, the foreign ministry, and most notably the United Front Work Department. All are part of the same playbook. And yes, they were all recruiting women, lots of them. So together they form a silent army, not of soldiers, but of charmers, lovers, wives, girlfriends, strategically placed all over the world. Their playbook, their strategy, or their formula for success, and it's very simple. It's called the blue, gold, yellow approach. So for over 2 decades, the CCP has perfected the formula of this ruthless game into something called the blue, gold, yellow, 蓝黄金 approach. So here's how it works. Blue means they study the targets, control the flow of information of the targets. That means cyber surveillance, hacking, censorship, and online mind games with the targets. Gold simply means throw money at the person in the form of business contracts, deals you can't resist, such as generous monthly retainers, gifts, bribes, free trips, whatever it takes to get you to go to Beijing. And yellow, the color yellow in modern Chinese culture means pornography. Even though traditionally yellow is the royal color. Anyways, so yellow means exploit your desire through seduction, romance, sex, emotional entanglements. They'll let you run into a woman of your dream and start an affair. You thought you met your dream girl, but only to find out later that there are other hidden agenda. So if you are a foreign businessman, a visiting official, a researcher, a scholar, a professor, or even just a student, you are fair game. Many of those who accepted all expense-paid trips to China particularly fell into this trap. Even exchange students weren't spared. Some were quietly assigned study companions who just happened to be romantic partners. While due to gender disparity, many Chinese men cannot even find a girlfriend. So why do Chinese government shower foreign students, and a lot of them, particularly the students from Africa, with Chinese women? Well, in reality, it was step one, or it is step one in a long-term influence operation, a way to keep future foreign elites emotionally tied to China and open to persuasion or manipulation. So let's be honest, everyone has weak spots. And when it comes to seduction, men are often the easiest to compromise. That's exactly what China counts on. The CCP's formula is simple. Find your weakness, fulfill your desire, and then they own you. China's use of honey traps is a global operation. Absolutely, it's everywhere. Let's go through some examples. The first case is someone you're very familiar with, Christine Fawn, or Fan. Fan. In America, she's called Fan. Fan. Well, she posed as a student in California. managed to charm her way into the inner circles of U.S. politics. She formed close relationships with several American politicians, most notably Congressman Eric Swalwell from California, who later sat on the House Intelligence Committee. I think he was kicked out of the committee recently. Was he? Yeah. And when the FBI started digging into Fan Fan's activities, she fled back to China. Last year, she resurfaced on Chinese social media. It was interesting. She had lunch with the former chief editor of Global Times, Hu Xijing. Another notable figure is former foreign minister Qin Gang's mistress. There we go. Fu Xiaotian, TV anchor Fu Xiaotian is another famous one. While she attended, I think, one of the foreign language institutes in China, has a master's degree from Cambridge University. And her job is to interview dignitaries around the world. So she certainly seduced China's former minister and somehow caused his downfall. Some say she's a double agent, working for both China and the West. The next I want to mention is the highest ranking American diplomat who is rumored to have an affair with a Chinese spy is Gary Locke. I think former governor from one of the northwestern states. I forgot. Yeah, he's from Northwest. Anyways, Gary Locke, and his wife is a local, also a TV anchor woman. I think her name is Mona Locke. Anyways, he suddenly resigned after 2 years into the ambassadorship due to personal reason, and later divorced his wife, even though his wife denied extramarital affair. Thank you for people who correct my pronunciation on the word extramarital, not extramarital. Now I'm very cautious. Extramarital affair. Thank you. I have quite a number of volunteer English teachers. My favorite one is Ben from the UK. And every time he corrects my pronunciation, he will apologize to me for the difficult language, for the difficult English language, and he never fails to make me laugh. So I want to thank my volunteer English teachers, all of you, particularly Ben. Okay, I hope I'm not disappointing you today. Anyways, let's carry on. Let's go on. Okay, so it's widely rumored that Gary Locke had an affair with a famous Chinese TV anchor who was also educated in the West. She was educated in the United States. Many believe this Chinese woman is also a top CCP spy, targeting foreign VIPs or VVIPs. By the way, she has cozied up to Elon Musk's mother recently. Has she set her eyes on the world's wealthiest man? Okay, that belongs to gossip. Okay, that's back to our business. So CCP has also gone after top military figures. Here's a Taiwanese general. His name is Luo Xianzhe, a former Taiwanese army major general who was stationed in Thailand as a military attaché. Am I saying this French word correctly? Attaché? Okay. Chinese operatives obtained access to his phone and discovered a personal weakness of General Luo: women. That's when Li Peiqi, the young officer from China's Ministry of State Security, was sent in. That beautiful woman is said to be the MSS officer. The young woman posed as a businesswoman in international trade. She is elegant, well-educated, well-traveled, So she seduced General Luo, compromised him, and recruited him. And another one down. Some honey traps are short-term. One night stand, a compromising video, a whispered confession, but others are part of something much deeper and more dangerous, long-term embedding. Relationships, marriages, children. The most famous case is reportedly Rupert Murdoch's wife, Wendy Dunn. Right, I have done videos on that. Chris has already copied links to. I made 2 videos on honey traps. This was one of the earliest videos I made years ago. You can check them out. They were, at the time, the views were very low. I hope the views have gone up. Check them out. There were some. There were very detailed reports. Anyways, so in early 2017, U.S. counterintelligence officials reportedly warned Jared Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law, that Wendy Dunn Murdoch might be using her close friendship with him and his wife, Ivanka Trump, to further China's interests. That was in the media. That's not me. That's in the media. And then this woman, Wendy Dunn Murdoch, is also rumored to be involved in affairs with other heads of state, one in the UK and one in Russia, reportedly. Okay, so this is exactly how the Red Women's Army operates: slow, methodical, and devastatingly effective. Now, it also happened in Canada. There's a Canadian Parliament member. His name is Bob. I don't know how to say his last. I don't know how to pronounce this name. Dechert. Okay, he's a Canadian member of Parliament. He's also a parliamentary secretary in the Foreign Ministry. He publicly apologized for his relationship with a Chinese woman, Shi Rong, who was a journalist from China's Xinhua news agency. And after the story broke, the Chinese woman was quietly recalled back to China. Damage done. It also happened in Japan in February 2024, and this was recent. This was only last year. 2 Chinese women were arrested in Japan on fraud charges. Both were believed to be part of China's overseas police network. One of them, Huli Hong, held a Japanese Senate pass and served as both Foreign Affairs Secretary and advisor to Senator Shinsuki Matsushita, a rising political star in Japan. Here's a picture of the Chinese woman with her man. Let me make this bigger. Here we go. Yep, there they are. So this is a picture taken. The woman is circled, and then the senator is also circled. And this picture was taken with former Japanese Prime Minister Suga. Japanese reporters captured the senator and his Chinese mistress visiting a Chinese political donor, walking out with gifts, then the 2 making out in a car. The fallout: the senator's marriage collapsed and his political reputation ruined. You won't believe the scale of China's honey trap operation in Japan. Let me come back. I want to give you some statistics, and you'll be shocked. In 2017, a Japanese magazine revealed that at least 50,000 Chinese spies were active in Japan. Their primary targets were members of the Japanese Defense Forces, or SDF. So how did the CCP run their operation? Through a mix of embassies, consulates, and covert community networks. So from Tokyo to Osaka to Nagasaki, they used students, waitresses, karaoke hostesses, and even massage parlor workers. training them to approach Japanese military men. The tactics were very simple: friendly conversation, a shared umbrella in the rain, and before long, an invitation to visit, a friendship, sometimes a friendship, and then relationship, sometimes a marriage. An investigative report later found that around 800 Japanese self-defense forces members had married foreign women, and 70% of these foreign wives were Chinese nationals. Many worked near military bases. Others were linked to karaoke bars with ties to China's Ministry of Public Security. Their mission? You can guess: get close and stay close. In Germany, that's in 2020, police raided the home and office of former EU ambassador to South Korea. His name is Sebastian Sabatier. I think it's Sabatier, who was suspected of leaking intelligence to Beijing. His problem at the time? He had a living girlfriend who is a young Chinese woman he met during her internship at the EU headquarters. Prosecutors couldn't find enough hard evidence to prosecute him, but the cloud of suspicion never lifted. Taiwan is the worst hit place because it's been long in Beijing's crosshairs. In recent years, Chinese agents have targeted politicians, retired generals, businessmen, village leaders, social media influencers, professors, and even students. The moment they set their foot in China, they're being watched. Some return with Chinese girlfriends or boyfriends. Some are fully aware of what's going on. Others have no idea. As Chinese society's moral compass eroded, the CCP's honey trap operations only got bolder and murkier. Covert spy programs have become more open and pervasive throughout Chinese society. Today, it's not just trained agents running seduction operations. Many of the women deployed in these missions come straight from private sectors. They're disguised as PR agents. It's even more difficult for foreigners to tell. Sadly, sexual briberies have become business as usual in China's elite circles, and that's poison. That poison is spreading. Some Chinese companies, particularly large private ones, maintain PR departments made up entirely of young women. Their job: to pull in high-ranking Chinese officials or foreign VIPs, usually under quiet orders. When they deal with the foreigners, it's usually under the quiet orders from Foreign Affairs Office or the United Front Work Department. One of the most infamous examples is the Evergrande Group, which has an in-house song and dance troupe made up of glamorous women. The company had a mysterious 42nd floor at its Shenzhen headquarters, rumored to be reserved for high-level entertainment for the powerful guests. I did a program on that. You can check it out. I asked Chris to provide the link in the description. A 2016 expose by the Caixin media outlet, which is a finance media, it revealed that the man who's called China's most charitable man, his name is Chen Guangbiao, operated his company out of a building called Disaster Reduction Training Center. It was a training center, but behind those doors were presidential suites used to entertain party elites and business power brokers. So the whole ecosystem, elite private clubs, princeling-owned businesses, party-connected white gloves, was a hidden arm of CCP influence and control. These weren't just private playgrounds. many doubled as unofficial venues for government hospitality. So here's a question. Where did they find the women? Oftentimes, university students. Some university presidents maintain lists of female students who can be summoned for special tasks. These aren't informal favors. In some cases, the activities were carried out under the names of the party committee or the Communist Youth League. And officials from the United Front and Foreign Affairs systems work closely with select universities and companies, using them as recruitment and hosting platforms. The companies pick up the price tag, the women provide the service. Well, they're also promised party membership, better job offers, fast track promotions. Those who refuse were quietly blacklisted. But not all women are students. Some are on-call sex workers managed by the very companies assigned to entertain important guests. So what we're looking at here is a hidden triangle between the government departments, private companies, and universities. And innocent-looking young women who are just absolutely gorgeous. So together, they form the backbone of China's modern-day sexual influence operations. So who can resist them, right? Some targets were foreign visitors. Others were internal Chinese officials or business people for surveillance, control, or compromise. So I want to end by telling you a Chinese character. You know the Chinese character? Well, actually, there's a Chinese saying. It goes, don't let your lower body control your upper body. In other words, don't let lust override your judgment. In Chinese, the word lust, actually, here we go. Oh, what happened to the... Oh, it didn't show. Oh, I want to show you that character. What happened? What happened to my slides? Anyways, I will post it. Okay, the Chinese word lust has a knife right on top of it. And that's not just a coincidence. There's a saying that goes, on top of the word lust sits a knife. In Chinese, we say, 色字头上一把刀. So in the world of politics, diplomacy, and espionage, what feels like love might just be the sharpest weapon of all. So I'm sorry that I couldn't share with you the character. I worked so hard on that slide, trying to exploit the character. What happened? Here we go. Maybe I'll try again. Hold on. Give me a second. I really want to show you that that character. Maybe here we go. Present. Here we go. Let me try again. I think this one should have... I don't know where to go. Okay, I can't find it. Chris, if there's any way you could find that, the last slide in the for me, I'd appreciate it, but I can't find it. I'll post it in the community chat. But that's all. That's all I have. I'm so sorry that I can't show you that character. That character, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Due to my ignorance, I don't know what happened. I saved it, but it's not in my deck. It's not there. Sorry. Okay. All right. Let me, first of all, thank the people who gave me super stickers. I want to thank them. Yeah, I think, all right. I don't know what happened to my PPT. It's disappointing. I always spend so much time working on that slide. All right. Oh, here's a super sticker from Kong. Thank you, Kong. Is that Chris? Chris just sent it to me. Oh, here we go. How is there any way we could let me see, download? I just download that. Okay, anyway, let's see. Present image file, maybe. Yeah, here we go. That's a good idea. Okay, here we go. Okay, here it is. Here's the word lust in Chinese, 色. And you see on the top is a knife. It is a knife. So that's the Chinese saying, 色字头上一把刀. Yeah. A knife sits on top of the word lust. Okay, anyways, here we go. All right, I'm back. Thank you, Con. And all right. Oh, here's one. Oh, here's another one from Con. I'm Meow or Meow in Chinese. I always wanted to know what they think of CCP. Do you know of my ethnic people over there? Well, ethnic Meow is one of the oldest ethnic groups in China. So they have their costumes, their attires and traditions really came from ancient China. So I think they have preserved ancient Chinese culture very well. I hope their culture and legacy are well preserved in China. They have beautiful costumes, right? Their people wear these lavish silver jewelries that jingles when they move. So it's very beautiful. Omega Sparrow, hi. Something to my Chinese wife. She's not spy. Oh, I'm not saying everyone is a. I'm not saying everyone is a spy. You know what? Usually the women who fights with you, who disagrees with you, who those are normal. But if you find a Chinese woman who is perfect, who is kind of the dream girl that you ever wanted, that's problematic. Because you know what? I've noticed that the Chinese, whenever I run into mainland Chinese who are so nice to me, I have a question. It turns out they want something from me. So yeah, so when it's too good to be true, then be careful. But if she argues with you, fights with you, that sounds normal to me. All right. I don't know if that means anything. Sir Humphrey, hi Lei, Australian mining executives have talked about this. Power corrupts absolutely. Everything is on the table. Thank you for the China updates. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your information. All right. That's okay. I'm scrolling to the bottom. All right, here we go. Okay, let me just pick some random questions. All right. No question. No question. Excellent. Oh, here's Netflix foreign. In English, the saying is, don't let your little head do the thinking. Okay, all right. I think in every culture there are expressions. But in Chinese, I told you what the Chinese saying is, don't let your lower body control your upper body. 色字头上一把刀. Yeah, LKC spelled it correctly. All right. Thank you. Okay, here. All right. That seems to be all. I reached the bottom. Lei is so smart. She speaks 2 languages. Well, there are people who are trilingual. I do know people who are trilingual or even quadrilingual, who speak 4 languages. There's a young woman in my family who speaks all 5 languages in the Permanent Council of the United Nations. So she speaks Chinese, Russian, French, English. So 4 languages. She proudly told me. She said, "I speak all 4 languages in the permanent the 5 permanent members of UN." Amazing. So 2 languages is Finny. Well, thank you, Finny. Am I saying it right? Oh, here's a question from Galia, forwarded by Chris Lay. Amazing analyst and great topic. Happy Easter. Well, thank you, Galia. And here's one from Amannath Ja. Your English is great. It's not your native, but you explain topics very well. Well, thank you. I struggle. I have problems pronouncing some words like ration and ration. I have another English teacher. She's 90 years old. She is very diligent and is very helpful. So I want to thank her as well. She may be listening at this moment. Okay, all right. Here's a question from Miss Outspoken. Hello, Lei. I'm a brand new subscriber. I love the way you break down your videos. You are a lovely lady and very intelligent. Thank you. Thank you. Here's a super sticker. Night Call. Hi, Lei. Are you familiar with the other China YouTubers like the China Show and China Uncensored? Thanks for what you do. I wish you well. They sent me very nice emails when I first started my venture, my journey as a YouTuber. They were very nice and sent me encouraging emails and telling me not to give up. That's all. Winston and what's the other name? Winston and Lao Wai. I forgot his name. One is Winston. I forgot. Lao Wai 86, 88. And Chris Chappell. All right. But we have different styles. I mean, everyone has their own strength and style. Okay. I reached the bottom. No? Is that the bottom? From Jaden Cash. How long can the CCP survive the tariff war? That's something we should talk about, because we should definitely talk about next week. We should talk about the trips that Xi Jinping made to Cambodia, Malaysia, and Vietnam. We should talk about that. It was not very fruitful. It was more for pageantry than substance. So we should talk about that. And also Trump talked about that the Chinese are contacting his office, and he believes that there will be a deal reached within matter of weeks. I have been thinking, what will they be talking about? What the Chinese and the Trump administration will be negotiating? What can they agree on? And what are they not going to agree on? So I think we could talk about that next week. So stay tuned. All right, and here's a question from Alan Mandel. Have you heard of the USA MK Ultra Army CIA program of 70 years ago? They used LSD, blah, blah, blah. No, I have not. No. No. Okay, we'll end it here. It's the holiday weekend. Happy Easter. Oh, here's a question from Jeff. Lei, this is my first time to watch you live. Do you think here in the Philippines, where did that question go? According to the government, some Chinese spy live here marrying Filipinos for them to settle down and do their spying? Yeah. It's happening all around the world. I mean, in Japan, it's very difficult to immigrate to Japan. So, if Japan has 50,000 Chinese spies, I would say in the Philippines, there are no fewer than Japan. So it is worrisome. Okay, that's all for tonight. I thank you for joining, and I'll see you next week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye bye.